I am on a journey to having seven figures in dollars in my investment account by the time I am 65. I started at 30, which I believe was relatively late. I wish I'd started earlier. Even though I'm 32 now and I have four figures, and I'm hoping to reach five figures before my 35th birthday, like in dollars in my investment account, aside from other investments. And I do not intend to do this alone. Like, I intend to work alongside other women, like hold their hands to achieve our money goals. And that is why I am doing this. So welcome to my channel. My name is Mercy Agbeti. You probably know me as Christian Money Woman. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. And if you have any money questions, please drop them in the comments, because we're going to be having a lot of money gist. And today I want to share with you some good money lessons that I'm having to ignore on this journey. Like, they are good money lessons, but I have to ignore them on my journey to my seven figures in dollars in my investment account at 65. Some good money lessons that I am having to ignore. I want to share them with you. And the first one is, do not buy what you cannot afford twice. What you cannot afford to pay for twice, don't buy it. Well, that used to be me. Like, I believed so much in it. Like, some 2 years ago, I believed so much in that. But I'm beginning to ignore it, because come to think of it, if you waited until you had twice the money to buy most things, you would not do it. If you waited until you had the money to buy your first car twice, you would not buy it. Like, for example, a very good example is, I remember when my husband and I were going to make inquiry for our first property, the down payment of our first property. I mean, we're just 2 years into our marriage and we're driving under Accord. I mean, EOD. That's what we're driving, and that's just like 2 years ago. That's what we're driving. Not like we had, I think we got that car for less than 3 million. So it wasn't like we had all the money for even the down payments at that time, but we just had to just stretch. We had to stretch. In fact, if those property people, those realtors, if they have to look at us, they look like, these people, they are driving EOD. Where do people get money? Why are people going to get 8 to 10 million to make down payments for property like that? But they didn't look at us that way. So imagine if you waited until we could afford twice of it, like, you will not do anything. Like, I used to hold on to that, and I think it can still serve some purposes, maybe small things, sha. But see, if you're really going to do the real big things, you cannot afford to wait until you can pay twice. Or what do you think? Like, okay, this is me sharing my own opinion. You, what do you think about it? Do you really think you have to wait until you can afford to make payments twice? It's a good money advice. That's why I'm saying that these are some good money advice that I am having to ignore on my own journey to my seven figures in my investment account at 65. I think you don't have to wait until you can afford something twice. Yeah, you just have to be very sure that you can afford this. And I like this saying that says that if you waited until you're ready to jump, it's already too late. Like, if you have to wait until you are ready to jump, the probability is that it's already too late for you to jump. So this idea of having to wait until you can afford to buy something twice, is not sitting down well with me anymore. It's something I used to preach, but I'm not sure I can really take people far. And then the number two money advice that I am having to ignore on this journey is that do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Is there really any amount that I can afford to lose? Like, I work hard for my money. See, I cannot even afford to lose 1,000 naira. If I am to wait until I can afford to lose money before I would invest, I'll not invest at all. And I think that's what's stopping some people. The moment you hear investment has risks and you have to wait until, don't invest money that you cannot afford to lose. I'm not sure it works that way, because the way I invest, it's not like I want to lose the money. Like, the money I invest is not something I can afford to lose. In fact, if I had to wait until I can afford to lose money, 1,000 naira of my money I cannot afford to lose. But I think all you need is a strategy to balance your risks. That's why you have low risk investment, you have medium risk investment, you have high risk investment. There are some investments that are relatively safe. Talk of bills, bonds, those are relatively safe, that you know that, okay, at all, I'm not losing my money. Not only am I assured of return on my investment, I'm also assured of return of my capital. So you do not necessarily have to wait until you can afford to lose money before you go ahead into investing. Or what do you think? Are you waiting, or did you have to wait until you can afford to lose money before you went into investing? Please let me know, share with me. And then the third money advice that I am learning to ignore is that rent is losing money. Like, renting is losing money. God, I beg go. I don't think so. I really do not think so. Like, the first property that we got, we didn't use it. We put it up for rental. The first property that we got, I did not say house, please listen to me well. The first property that we got, we didn't use it. We used it for rental. So it was generating income for me. Okay, let me even use another example. The year was 2017. I was a copper, or I just finished serving. And the first car I bought as a single lady, I wasn't married at the time. The first car I bought, I used it for e-hailing service. I used it for cab, for taxi. I didn't drive it. And that way, it was actually a very good financial decision, but I was not financially literate, so I didn't manage it well. Ordinarily, when I did that, that was supposed to make me more money to even afford other cars. That's what it was supposed to be. That's the ideal scenario. That's the ideal thing that was supposed to happen. But I didn't have enough financial literacy, so it did not happen that way. But I'm just trying to drive in the point that renting is not bad. If you have to, it's okay if you have to rent. You're not throwing away money. In fact, it's okay for you to have property, for you to have something, and you're renting it out. So far, it is meeting your financial decision, goals, or strategy at the time. If you have to stay in a rented apartment and you have house that you're renting out to people, you are the one that know what your financial goal, your financial strategy is. So don't always think that renting is you losing money. So another money advice that you might want to ignore on your journey to financial freedom is that you have to wait to finish paying your debt before you start investing. Well, in my case, I didn't have any debt whatsoever, but I think you might have to ignore that money advice. As much as it is good, as much as it is good, I understand. But the thing is, I understand that debt is expensive, but so also is your time. If you had to wait, say 5 years, or even 3 years, or even 2 years, or even 1 year for you to pay up your debt before you start investing, you've also lost 5 years, or 3 years, or 2 years, or 1 year of compounding. So the thing is, what I would advise is that pay your debt alongside investing. Be investing as much as you're paying your debt. And while you think you cannot do that, you're probably rolling your eyes already, like, how are you able to do that? Like, how can you afford to do that? It's because you've already told yourself that you cannot do that. See, trust me, if you tell yourself that while I am paying off this debt, I also want to be investing, you will be able to do it. See, where there is a will, there is a way. That's something I'm coming to learn about the universe. Where there is a will, there is a way. So if you put your mind to it that while I am paying off my debt, I also want to be investing, the money will come. The money will come, because yeah, just like I said, debt is expensive, fine, but so also is your time. Your time, that 5 years that you want to just stay put paying debt, you're losing the compound interest on your investments, like if you are started investing. So you do not necessarily have to wait until you're done paying your debts before you start investing. And the last one for now is this money advice that you should stop eating out. I understand. I used to be a believer of it. But see, my dear, sometimes you have to eat out, because see, it's not that 5,000 naira or that 15,000 naira that would actually bring you to poverty. As much as I understand that, yes, every money should serve a purpose. It can be a seed. Hope you're not eating your seed thinking it is bread. But see, sometimes when you're coming back from work, you need to just eat out so that you can get home and rest and get inspiration for you to make more money. It's not like you're coming back from work and because you don't want to eat out, you get home, then you stress over cooking, all of those things, and then you sleep, you're tired, and your brain is too jam-packed to even process anything for you to make money. So yeah, don't just make it every time, but don't just stop eating out. Those little joys, 1,000 naira shawarma, 2,000 naira this, don't just cut them out. No, you need them to be refreshed. Like, it's a way of you resting. I mean, sometimes to me, eating out is me resting, and me resting is not luxury. It is part of my investment strategy. Like, I need to be relaxed sometimes so that I can think. I don't have to always cook round the clock. So that thing of do not eat out, I understand. But see, sometimes you might have to ignore it, because sometimes you might have to just give yourself a little joy up and down here so that you can be refreshed to know how to make more money. So let me know, what money advice are you ignoring on this journey to your financial freedom, on this journey to our financial freedom? What money advice are you ignoring? These are some of the money advice that I am learning to ignore on my journey. Once again, welcome to my channel. I hope you've been able to pick one or two things. Please, if you have any money questions or money gist, please drop them in the comments, and please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you.